You know when you're hanging out with that friend that you haven't seen in forever and you haven't quite gotten a buzz yet and you're standing there. It's just awkward, yeah. You just can't. What do you bring up? Yeah, this is me right now. So we're gonna talk about what it means to become a man, or at least a better driver. Nothing says manly like grabbing a stick firmly and putting it where it's supposed to be next. Driving manual. Okay, let's get on topic here. When I was a kid and I knew nothing about cars, I figured you had to get a manual. The reason is, you've seen the movies. I got them playing there in the background. I'm going to get copyright infringement for that, by the way. When you're changing those gears, you and the vehicle, you guys are one. And so, I was going through the archives just now in my brain, trying to think back to like what are some of the Canon manual experiences that I've had. My dad, he used to have one of those old Hondas, you know, the ones where when you turn the car on or off, the seatbelt would go like, and it would kind of like go in front of you and then you could just step right out. Crashed it, of course. But it was burgundy. It was nice. Speaking of Honda shitbox. Anyway, I remember I was hanging out with my dad and he was teaching his friend how to drive stick, and we're mid-corner and he's got to do that awkward like second to third transition. It was probably more like a first to second transition because it was such a slow corner, right? And he actually somehow got back down into first. And he starts losing the corner. And there's traffic. My dad's just panicking, right? He's like, oh shit. And he grabs the wheel and he's turning it back. I'm just sitting in the back here like, I was fat, okay? They called me Buddha. Because I was short and fat and I had really short hair, okay? And I guess my ears are kind of big. Whatever. Anyway, so point is, I knew that eventually I was going to have to get it down. I was going to have to become one with machine, learn a drive manual. And better yet, be good at it. It was the prime time of the world, about 2016, maybe 2017. And I knew I had to learn. And I knew someone who had a manual car. Now you're probably wondering, what was this incredible, capable machine that I was going to be driving? It was like a 2000 Saturn. I don't know the model. I'll try and find a picture. I'll put it up here. But this is what it was. And I know what you're thinking. Made in the USA. The quality is dog shit. And you're right. That thing did not ever want to go into third. I don't care what anybody says, all right? That was not user error. It never wanted to go into third. But my point is, I had to learn. I asked my homeboy, and he was like, yeah, sure. Let's go out. And we went to a parking lot. And he's like, yeah, you know, these are the basics, this and that. And I'm going to tell you, it went about as well as you'd expect. All right, which is to say, it went horribly. I already had several thousand miles driving. I had my license, that whole deal. What they don't tell you, though, is that the way automatic cars are tuned with the pedal, even like something like a Civic, all right, I was driving a 2000 Avalon with 265,000 miles on it. What they don't tell you is that the way the drive pedal is tuned for the throttle, you need to boot it in a manual car. Whereas if you were to try that in an automatic, like to any degree, in normal driving, it would just be ridiculous, right? Like you would just be going like way faster than most people drive. I was essentially trying to drive stick without any gas. Up hills, the car was going like this. On flat, the car was going like this. Going from first to second, second to third, not so much in the fourth. We would just be getting that. And mind you, it doesn't help that the transmission was not the fastest, okay? And the grab point of the clutch, it was like almost at the very top of the pedal, you know, like you put your foot down and it's like nothing, and then your legs like up in the air, and then finally when it's almost, you know, about there it starts actually going down. You have to be slow and let off that last little bit. It was a learning curve. So then of course at some point while learning, I had a great idea at the time. I'm like, hey, this girl that I was talking to, she's into cars. What if I showed up to her place in this car that's a manual? So we drove all the way over from the hick town that I live in over to where she's at. And it was pretty smooth sailing, primarily highway. You know, once you're in the higher gears, you're just kind of coasting. It's not a big deal. And there weren't any lights to really worry about until we're almost there. And I'm looking at my homeboy. He's in the passenger and he sees there's road work ahead, which meant we'd have to stop and then go when they waved us, right? Not the ideal circumstances, okay? I was not at all competent. And of course, he's sweating bullets here, my homie. And I'm like, you know what? We'll just see what happens, right? And come time for me to start, And I stalled, like on the highway too. Think about it, like you're on the highway, it's like a 35 or 40, and you're stopped. And I'm like trying to do it and do it. It's like this whole thing is so nerve wracking, right? And it's not like New York where if you're stopped for 2 seconds, people just start hammering the horn. Thankfully, there wasn't that much traffic. But eventually I ended up getting it going, and we made it, and it was terrible. And I went by for a long time just kind of being pretty terrible at manual. Like it just didn't click. I didn't get it until eventually I was in Philly, and same homeboy. He got sick from some Vietnamese food or something, so I had to drive us back. And then at some point in that process too, I was listening to some Eurobeat. You know, I think I just started watching Initial D, so I had like a huge Eurobeat, super Eurobeat, whatever the hell it's called, like the really rapid, frantic music. You know, the Eurobeat. I'm in Philly. There's a stop sign every 5 seconds. There's 6-way, like star-shaped intersections and lanes of cars going around. And it just clicked. And I'm like, whoa, like I can drive manual now. And it's not like a nerve-wracking thing. The downshift rev matches, I got to work on those a little bit. But I was up and down the gears, pretty chill, pretty comfortably. You know, it just felt like another thing. Parking, all that stuff. So then I end up driving him back after he gets sick. It's like an hour and a half drive, and it was smooth sailing. He's laying in the back prone, not like a sniper, but like somebody who got hit by a sniper. And I'm just driving. That's what I knew. Man card acquired. So for those looking for any tips on how to drive manual, standard transmission, if you will. Is it standard at this point? I guess not. Number 1, more gas than you think. Press that pedal enough to get the revs up to like 2,500-ish, maybe 3,000, which is kind of high. But let's say 2,500. That should be pretty safe. 2 to 2,500 RPM. Get a feel for that. See how the car likes to react. And once you've got that down, just kind of do that while slowly letting that clutch out. And that's it. You'll be able to drive. That's it. I'm telling you. That is the number 1 thing, because an automatic car, you just breathe on the gas and you're going at like a cruising speed, right? Not so with a manual. The manual, you have to be like really purposeful. Like if I'm hitting, in my Civic, if I hit like 4 degrees of pedal, I'm going at like a normal driving pace. In a manual, you probably got to go like 30 to give it like, just enough to get it up to like 2,500. So that's the biggest difference. Hope it helps somebody, I guess. Oh, and some mishaps I had. Of course, I'd go to shift, and like I said, that transmission, it did not want to be in 3rd gear. So 1st to 2nd, no problem. 2nd to 3rd, straight to 5th. I never went 2nd back into 1st, but always into 5th all the time. Then I started getting comfortable going like 5th to 4th. Then I try to do 4th to 3rd and go boom, straight into 1st gear. Thankfully, I never blew the motor up. I think yeah, I'm pretty sure the car's blown up at this point. It has nothing to do with me, but yeah. So a couple mishaps along the way, to be expected. Maybe don't buy like a $300,000 car before you try and learn this, but it's not too bad. Oh, yeah. So your boy's trying to get a Porsche at some point. Probably like a Cayman or something. But here's the issue though, in the market right now. If you're paying $40K for a Porsche, $40K can get you a lot of car, you know. Like I could get like a pretty decent Corvette for that price. I just want a Porsche, man. I'm like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I'm in like an awkward. Maybe I'm expecting too much, you know. Like I'm driving a Civic, okay. Like anything's gonna be like a pretty huge deal over that. I'll probably end up paying like $24K for like a Miata or something, or the BRZ. One of those two. But yeah, if anybody has like a better plan for me to somehow get a Porsche with epic performance for like less than 40 grand, that would be awesome. Maybe I'll buy like a dusty one for like 12 and then swap the motor out for another like 15. And then for 30K have like a V8 swapped Porsche. That's wishful thinking, probably. I did a video. We're not awkward anymore. So that means we're going to be back talking, hopefully with a lot less cuts, on something else. Suggest something I talk about, okay? I don't know what to talk about, all right? Give me like 3 suggestions. I have a 24-70 lens now. Oh. I can't even really get that close, though. See ya. Really, I had to have the horn at the exact same time? That's crazy.